Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Ricknineg. Thank you for joining me today. Sunday, the first day of the week. I remember, I think I was still in 8th grade where I still thought that Sunday was like the end of the week and Monday was the beginning of the week because in school. And so I'm still amazed when I'm like, yeah, Sunday, the beginning of the week, first day of the week. So thank you for joining me today. If you're watching this live, this is a little earlier than I'm usually on, but that's okay. I'm hungry and I thought if I start now, I can finish earlier and go eat. My live streams revolve around my food schedule. They don't know, in fact. So hopefully all of you guys and gals are doing amazing. Today we're going to watch and talk about I Love Lucy, as well as you guys, if you have any questions, if you want to ask me something, especially about Lucy, Three Stooges. I'm doing a lot more movie reviews, aviation. It's pretty much an open field. Of course, I have discretion at the answers and so forth. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having a little chat and talking with you. I have a couple more movies here that I'm going to be reviewing in the near future. I have one here, and I have the other one here. And so if you like that type of stuff, stay tuned. I always tell people, watch what interests you. Super Bowl, what's that? I've heard of that. I've heard of that before. You guys and gals are awesome. Thank you for joining me today. There's a good amount of you on here today. We what's wrong with me? We're going to be looking at the episode where Lucy goes to Sun Valley. So this is a very snowy type episode where they go to Sun Valley, which is not far from LA. It's, I think, within an hour's drive of where I'm from, which is kind of cool. We get snow there. It's, I would say, similar to like Mammoth, in the sense of like Mammoth is where people go if they want to go to the snow here. I think Sun Valley is very similar. All right, Sun Valley. Let me just get that going. And I'll read you all the excerpts, all the information about this. I don't know if, have many of you seen this episode at all? Have any of you seen this episode? Because I know a lot of people have not seen the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour stuff. Last week we saw Lucy Wins a Racehorse. Today we're going to be talking. So this one came out 2 months after the previous. So Lucy Wins a Racehorse. Now it's episode 5. Lucy Goes to Sun Valley. This is a April 14th, 1958 release. Episode 5. Supporting cast. Just list Little Ricky and Fernando Lamas. Fernando Lamas was an Argentinian actor who I think got popular here in the United States. I haven't seen any of his movies, but I know his son is Lorenzo Lamas, and he had a popular show in the 90s called Renegade. The only reason I know is because my dad loved it and my parents loved it, and as a little boy I used to watch it. Probably not a show I should have been watching, but I didn't know. It's just a guy on a motorcycle. And music, Melancholy Baby. Interesting note, there's a scene in this episode where Lucy goes down a hill in the snow. Of course, it's a double. And funny thing is, the double, or the stunt woman, actually broke her leg. So I think it's a good idea that they did use a double. So let me start the episode and we'll get the chatting away. First time in the live chat, Sandy. Well, thank you and welcome to the channel. What was the name of the guest star? Fernando Lamas. Fernando Lamas. You could probably Google him. He is not around any longer, but very similar accent to Ricky, or to Desi. Desi was Cuban, Fernando Lamas was Argentina, South America, kind of North America, but there's similarities and differences as well. Sun Valley's a little farther than an hour from LA. You may be thinking of Big Bear. I don't think... Let me see. Maybe a little farther, but it's not super far. I thought it was like super far. I thought it was like not San Bernardino, like Sacramento far, but it's not. It's not within the LA County, but it's not that bad. Hello, everyone. Kimberly as well. I'm doing well. Becky, nice to catch you. Because you caught me on live stream. I catch you, right? So, yes. Erie, Pennsylvania. Wow, this is good. Yes, let's start this. Where are you guys from? Where are you hailing from? Where are you watching the live chat from? Vincent, Jamestown. That is awesome. Vince, if you're interested in the topic of sets and the complexity of the sets, I have a video on that, on the 5 most complex, in my opinion. I think it's 5 most or 10? 5. Take a look at that, because I can give you more information on that video than I can give you right now, and more detailed on there, of course. Hello, Holly, as well. So let's see, Dallas, Texas. Awesome. Jay Alston, thank you for joining me from Texas. I've been to Texas. Erie, Pennsylvania. I've never been to the East Coast, so Kimberly. So they're both Spanish. They're both Spanish speaking, we say, but you would not say they're both Spanish. Spanish people are from Spain. Cuba are Cubans, and Argentinians are Argentinos or Argentines. Argentinos is probably the most common way of doing it. Canada, Dallas, Texas, North Carolina, awesome. Everett, Washington, so you're up above me, relatively speaking. Ohio, awesome. South Bend, Indiana, oh my gosh. AW2, London, UK, across the pond. That is nuts. It's funny that I reached that far. That is cool. Shreveport, Louisiana, Arkansas. Are we going to get all 50 states in this? Chicago, Illinois. As I'm reading these, like, it's going through different states. It's like each one of you are in a different state. That is nuts. We have a Sun Valley here. So, are they talking about Sun Valley in Idaho? Because we have a Sun Valley here as well, in LA, close to LA. Arkansas, Louisiana, Chicago. Awesome, awesome. Yes, I'm crazy. Cynthia's on here as well. Cynthia's from New York. Illinois, Boston, Mass. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. I gotta write these down. Or you know what I have to do? I have to make a little map. And like know where everyone's from. That is awesome. All right. We're here. This is an interesting scene because we have Lucy with Ethel. And Lucy's kind of reminiscing on her marriage. And Ethel's saying that, I think your marriage has gone sour type thing. And there is a broken record, you know, the old, what do you call it, 48, 30, whatever you call them, like records, the play with the needle. And it's broken, and it's a Jingle Bell record. And apparently that was the first song that Ricky, like, sang to her. And so she wanted to see if he remembered, and he's, like, in his unromantic phase. He's doing his own thing. And he's like, yeah, get away from me, honey. So it's kind of cool, kind of cool. Palm Springs, awesome. Chad, you have all seasons of I Love Lucy. You have 2 daughters, 10 and 5, and they love the show. Awesome. You got to get the new generation into Lucy. Get them into awesome content like Lucy and not some of the other stuff that's on today. There's some good stuff today, but I mean, some of it is not that great. So getting into this stuff, you can put your 5-year-old to watch this, and you don't have to worry at all. I think that's super important. Do you watch the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour as well, Chad, or just because this is still I Love Lucy? It's a little technical, but we'll call it I Love Lucy. The hour-long episodes. Diane, you watch all the Lucy shows, so the Lucy show as well, right? Life with Lucy, all those. Yes, Cynthia. Originally from Argentina, and now you're in New York, right? Because everyone was telling me what area they were from. So if you're in different areas, love to hear it. Tampa Bay area, very nice. Jingle bells. You got it, Aniston. You know this episode. He's like, what are you talking about? Alec, you don't know a lot about the Comedy Hour. They don't play them as much. I remember when they used to play them as a kid, or some of the first times that I saw them, like after the half-an-hour episodes would end, sometimes they would go into the hour-long, and I was like, what is this? And why is it so long? And why haven't I seen it? Like, it was like a weird thing to me. I didn't, you know, there was no Wikipedia. There was no internet. You had to buy these books. And as a 10-year-old kid, it's like, how do you get this information? You don't. You just watch TV, and that's how you know. It won't be an encyclopedia like the books. I used to have those. Those aren't updated. So, and this was only like, what, 15 years ago? It's nuts. Well, not 15. Let's go more like 20 years ago. But yeah. Becky, you would love to meet Carol Burnett. Oh, you and everyone. Me as well. Carol Burnett and Lucy were great friends. Lucille Ball gave Carol Burnett her start, especially on the Lucy show. She starred a lot with her, like co-starred with her. And yeah, it's interesting. Remember, this stuff was the cream of the crop, especially for Desi. This is what he wanted to do. He always wanted hour-long episodes. It was kind of like one of those things where, I don't know, if I'm flying now, which I am, and I'm like, oh, I'm flying the sport cruises, but my dream is to fly the jets. Well, it's like, this is his jet. This is his, like, pinnacle. And it was interesting that they only went 13 episodes and they were done. And on the I Love Lucy half-an-hour shows, they went 179 episodes. So it was interesting. They got what they wanted. When they finally did, they lost something else. You know, what does that say about life? I don't know, but it's very interesting. Hey, Will, what's up? So, interesting question was, how King noted for doing the makeup in other series too? Do you mean other Lucy series or just like other shows in general? Looks like he spent most of his career with Lucille Ball. Yes, a lot of these individuals who are with Lucille Ball, they stayed with them. Louis Nicoletti, who was the best friend of Desi, he was on the show a lot. He played like waiters and like dance instructors, like little parts here and there. And he stayed on and eventually became assistant director of the show. I think he became assistant director of the Lucy show. And so a lot of these guys and ladies, but it was mostly men, stayed on. Because there were some ladies like fashion designers and stuff like that. Sandy, the Lucy-Desi comedy era was on TV Land in the 90s. See, it was. And that's when I remember it, Sandy. I don't know if they play it much anymore. I don't watch TV anymore. I can't speak today. Honestly, I'm not interested in TV because now you can pull up what you want on demand. And it's like you don't have to watch what's on TV. Like, it was always forced on you. And as a little kid, I was always like, I want to watch what I want to watch. And I would put in like VCRs and VCR cassettes, if you guys know what that is. Some of you will not know. Some of you will absolutely know. Let me see. The Lucy-Desi comment was in... Okay, I read that. Kimberly, did Vivian Vance live near Lucy and Desi in real life? Great question. I believe at some point they were, and then at another point they kind of went through a falling out. I believe when Gary Morton got married to Lucy, they had a bit of a falling out, and they didn't really talk as much. And they eventually got together when Vivian got sick with her, toward the end of her life, and they kind of reunited and they connected again before she passed away. So that was kind of cool. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that applies to lots of things. You've been watching this show all day, Holly. That's awesome. Hopefully you've been watching some of my videos too and enjoying them. There's a lot on there. Who was the other makeup artist? Max Factor. So I didn't make it that clear in the video because I didn't think there would be the mix-up. But there were two, because I'm sure it's going to happen. I'm sure someone's going to be like, wait, but you didn't put Max Factor. Sometimes people get super salty on the internet. But, so Hal King, if you didn't see my last video, was the guy who was focused on like the prosthetics or the fake makeup, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that, in the freezer episode, I have a picture up there where, the icicles and little boogers on Lucy, that was all makeup. And so that's what Hal King would do. He did the prosthetic nose. He did maybe Lucy's makeup when she was in the starch vat, things like that. Max Factor did her real makeup, meaning like her hair, like in this episode, Sun Valley. She doesn't have any prosthetics or anything like that, so that would be more of a Max Factor thing. She would go to the Now Museum. It's a museum you can visit in LA and Hollywood. The Max Factor Museum, it wasn't a museum there, it was like a salon exclusive for celebrities. There would be 3 rooms. 3 main rooms. There would be the blonde room, the red room, and the brunette room. Lucy would go in the red room. Marilyn would go in the... And so you would go, depending on what color hair you had, they would have all the products, and you would have your appointment, and you would get your hair done and everything before you would go to the studio. You would get that done, and then you would drive, or your chauffeur would drive you a few blocks away to the studio, and then you would have your show. Hal King would be more in-house. He would do the stuff right there because you couldn't really drive with all that stuff on. So, kind of an interesting fact, in case you guys wanted to know. You remember the VCR cassettes? I still have them. I have some down there. Would you guys be interested in that? Okay, hold on. I don't know whether this is valuable or not. I was given this by, I think, a family member. Look at this. This is a VCR cassette. This is ancient. Some of you have never seen this. It is original. It isn't like pirated from the TV. This is original. So if any of you still have a VCR, I might do a giveaway. I still have to finish my last giveaway, but I might do a giveaway. This is just a Christmas special episode. In VCR, I'm sure it may be worth something someday. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's worth less. But it's 26 minutes, recorded in hi-fi, and I don't watch it. I don't use it because I watch stuff on DVDs now. And so if people would be interested in this, let me know. But yeah, let me know, Chad. But obviously, if hopefully you guys have a VCR to play that in. If not, maybe just like it like a little relic on the wall. Yes, Will, Lucille was a great businesswoman. Very tough. In fact, some people would say kind of hard to work for. She was a very tough boss. Tougher than some of the men, they would say. Like, she wasn't that nice Lucy that we know about. She was harsh. She was really, like, strong. Chad, I've never been to the I Love Lucy Museum in New York. In fact, I've never been to the East Coast. So that would kind of answer that. But I do plan on going. I don't know exactly when, but I will let my people on the channel know. So that if anyone wants to take a trip or lives close by, maybe we can all meet up in the parking lot and do like a tour together type thing. That would be cool. That would be awesome. Dean Martin roasted Lucy and had Vivian Vance on the first time they saw each other in years. I don't know if that was the first time. Like, I know the roast happened. I've seen it. It's on YouTube. And I don't doubt if that was the first time because, again, I don't think Viv and Gary Morton got along well, which was funny because Gary Morton's personality, from what I hear, was very much like really low-key, really chill, and yeah, pretty much like that. And he got along with Desi pretty well. Desi got along with him. He said he was his ex-husband-in-law or something. Yeah, husband-in-law. That's what he said. I think that's what I read. But like, he and Gary always resorted to like whatever Lucy wants. If that makes her happy. Like, that was his personality. So kind of cool. Giveaway. Then why was there only one listed artist every episode? Like the first couple of seasons, it listed Max Factor. Well, Max Factor wasn't a celebrity. He became a celebrity from what he did. He was mostly the makeup guy. He was the makeup guy for Lucy, the private makeup guy for Lucy. You're glad Lucy and Vivian made up before Vivian died. Did Lucy know how to ski? Because in Here's Lucy, she skied and broke her leg. I don't know if that was a skill of hers, to be honest with you. I don't know. But like the stuff that she did in this one, Sun Valley, that was dangerous. That's why they needed a double, like it or not, you know? So, Alec, I don't want to get too much into the details, but I basically completed the giveaway. I have one more person to call. It's just one of those things where now I'm aware of what all that takes. I got so like out of the loop of that whole giveaway, and it was tough because I was like messaging people that they had won, and then I didn't get a response back, and then it was like a week later, and then I would get a response, but then other people, it was a little hectic, so I'm gonna have to change it for next time. I learned, but pretty much all of them are called except for I think one more, and so they know that they have been called basically, but my audience doesn't know, and so I'll just in one of my next videos I'll just play it on the bottom. Congratulations to the giveaway winners, kind of like scrolled, and then I'll just list them just so people know about that. But yeah, we live and learn, right? Chad, I'm also into old movies. Yeah, like I started watching Top Hat. I'm pretty specific in what I watch. Like Some Like It Hot, I've seen that with Marilyn and Jack Lemmon and so forth. What else? Top Hat, I told you about. I love Stooge stuff. I love, which are technically movies, shorts. And Marx Brothers as well, Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy. I love Hitchcock stuff. White Christmas, Fred Astaire. See, I'm not like, I haven't really watched a lot of Bing or Danny Kaye or any of those. Maybe I should, But as of now, I'm very much into like the comedy stuff and a little bit of Hitchcock, which is not comedy, but yeah. So yes, I don't know tons about old movies. I know about a good amount of them. Like I watched the long trailer. I have a couple older ones here, but I don't really have an interest in watching those specifically. When is my birthday? Okay, hold on. Okay, because I'm also running the comment stuff here, so that's why if I ever do that, because I read that, watch dish, do dish, lots of stuff. It's like when you fly, you're doing tons of stuff at the same time. No, that's harder than this. When's your birthday? My birthday was... Oh, is August 13th. August 13th, actually, kind of cool thing, the same day as Alfred Hitchcock. I'm born on the same day as Alfred Hitchcock. Isn't that kind of cool? And same day as Annie Oakley, one of the best sharpshooters ever. And yeah, Fidel Castro, but I wouldn't celebrate that much. I wouldn't be so proud of that. I would say mostly Hitchcock and Annie Oakley. There's a couple others, but those are the ones I'll mention. Okay. It's cool that you are Ricky, as you said, your family calls you, and you talk about Ricky Ricardo. Oh yeah, it's a funny situation. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to get... Okay, there we go. Thank you, YouTube. Okay, perfect. Saw a video talking place in a Vivian Vance museum where Vivian's daughter discussed her early career. Vivian's daughter? Vivian's daughter. I never knew she had a daughter. From what I looked up, she did it, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's a daughter that, would it be maybe her... She had a sister, and I think she still has a sister around, or at least very old. Alec, you're looking forward to watching your latest Bond, James Bond. You haven't seen it yet? Should. Spectre, surprise. I don't like to spoil in my videos because I want people to watch them. So I think you should watch it. I think you will enjoy it. And yes. And I hope there are more Bond films coming out. Maybe I'll do all of them. I know some people are really into Bond. And I'm kind of getting into that mode now. Like, I wasn't really into Bond. I was like, okay, he's cool, he's an agent. But I never really got into him. And now, kind of am. Yeah, people don't read their messages. You sent your cousin's girlfriend a message on Instagram before Christmas. She responded last week. Yeah, it happens. And that's what's tough about giveaways. That I used to think, well, that's kind of sad that only one person wins. Well, it's a lot easier because communication. Imagine communicating with 5 times that amount of people, going back and forth, and especially because I'm calling them, some people aren't available, and so it got very technical. Plus being sick, and it's one of these things where it's like I want to move on from that giveaway to the next one. I would rather give things away, mail them off, and it's done. You know, the other one, it just became so technical. I didn't think it would be, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Would you ever join the Bullet Club? What's that? Is that like a gun club? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Do you like the Dick Van Dyke Show? I'm guessing. I have seen an episode. That's Lucy does that face. She probably does it a lot better. And I think for the most part, it was all right. It wasn't. So I couldn't get into it. It doesn't mean that it's not good. It doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I just couldn't get into it. But the thing is, like Bond, I used to not be interested in watching them, and I was like, okay, Bond, like, I don't know. And now I'm interested. So our dislikes and likes change as we grow and so forth. Yeah, it is. It's the same month as Lucille Ball. Exactly. We are the same sign. I'm not really into horoscopes. I know about them, but they're kind of fun. I don't really believe in them, but mine's kind of accurate to me. And so Lucy and I are very similar in our... We have the same... We're both Leos, I believe. You would love to watch Casablanca. You should. You mean Night in Casablanca with the Marx Brothers? That's more my thing. That's more of me. Casablanca is more like a love. I'm not really into like love stories, to be honest with you. That's why I think I Love Lucy. When it gets too lovey-dovey, I prefer the whole comedy shtick. I like that stuff as well. Okay. Bullet Club, I thought for a second that was like ballet, like it was like a typo, and I was like, ballet club? Probably not. I would not join that. Oh yeah, don't worry about asking me questions that I've answered before. I used to be a teacher, I'm very used to it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I've answered that before, but that isn't bad, because I don't mind, but sometimes I get really unique questions, and sometimes I get similar questions. I like to answer them anyway, either way. I'm filming in Southern California. Yes. West Coast. Yes, I don't believe Vivian Vance had kids. Because I looked it up last time, and the internet, now the internet's like a source. And it could be wrong. But from the sources that I have seen, the internet, they didn't show any children. So, you know how it is. Some people have kids that they don't like write about, or that they don't claim, or that they don't put on there. But from what I knew, she did not have kids. Neither did Bill Frawley. They were childless, both of them. And although Bill Frawley did get married once in his early life, and Vivian was married 4 times, I believe. Hey Daisy, how are you? Oh, and this is the point where Lucy and Fernando Lamas crashed into the tree. Right? Tracks leading right into a tree, but they got lucky because they crashed into like a nice, fine, what do you call it, pine tree. So it was kind of cushioned and so forth. Bullet Club is a wrestling group in Japan that is of American wrestlers. Some have come to the U.S. I used to watch wrestling. I used to watch the WWE. It used to be WWF. I knew all the wrestlers. But then honestly, once the wrestlers started changing, I started trailing off and not caring as much, to be completely honest. Very similar to Power Rangers. I used to love that show. I was in love with all the actors, and some actors went away, others replaced, but some of the originals stayed. Once all the originals left, I was done. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't care for these other people. That's just what it was. And so kind of the same with wrestling, to be honest. There are still some originals, but there's so many more that I don't even know that didn't continue. So, quick answer to that. And there he is, Fernando Lamas. I know, isn't that funny? Now that we're so used to reading stuff on the internet, it's like we have to read it differently or really look close to see if it's like an A or an O and so forth. No, Aniston, Vivian Vance and Bill Frawley were not actually married. It was a, they played each other's husband and wife. They acted it out, right? They were not, they pretended. Just like Lucy and Ricky pretended, even though they were actually married in real life. So they were pretending to be another couple that was married. They weren't really playing themselves, if that makes sense. Yes, Vivian was married to someone else. Yes, Holly, absolutely. They did not like each other. I made a whole video on that. The Vivian and Bill feud, or the Fred and Ethel feud, and talks about the real life. That's why I make those episodes of fact or fiction. That's why I make a lot of these behind the scene episodes, so that people can find out what's going on behind the scenes and off of the show. To me, that makes me like the show more. It makes me more interested. It makes me like it because I get to know what's happening behind the scenes. Motivations, reasons, things like that. Makes him more human, you know, makes him relate to me. I used to drink tea during my life, and now I'm like, I can't drink tea anymore. I gotta drink some water. I gotta stay hydrated. Although tea doesn't dehydrate you, but it's, you know, it goes right through you. Yeah, Will, I've heard that he was like, you know, the romantic Latin guy who was, I mean, kind of like Boyer, Charles Boyer. He's for French, you know, for the French. And then we have, who else? John Wayne was more the macho. I mean, a little bit of romance and stuff. But he's more like the cowboy macho. Oh, there's Louis Nicoletti. He's playing the desk guy at the hotel there. Yeah, he's in a lot of this stuff. As well as Bennett Green and Hazel Pierce. They're the 3 most seen people in I Love Lucy other than the main 4. If you guys knew that, that's kind of interesting. Bennett Green, Hazel Pierce, and Louis Nicoletti. The top 3 right there. La Blvd. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not French. La Belva? I don't know. How do you speak French? I'm so horrible at French. I never could get it. I really enjoy your I Love Lucy videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you like them and that you watch them and that you support me. That's awesome. And that was just Bennett Green just going that way. See, they're in like every episode. Arthur Super Bowl, what's that? Which character was Hazel Pierce? So she was many characters. She was usually in the background. She was this older lady, older thin lady with the same body type and frame as Lucy. She was probably, I couldn't even guess, but at least in her 70s. At least facially she looked like she was in her 70s. She has to be older than 60, at least in the show. And she was Lucy's stand-in. So during rehearsals when they had to set up the lights to get the shadows correct, she would stand there and they would pay her to stand there. And then on the show, she would play like someone eating in the background, an extra passing by. You would see her. Watch the Madam X episode. This older lady who never talks. She talked in one episode. So yeah, Hazel Pierce. I have to make a video on her because, I mean, she's one of the most... She is, other than the 4 main characters, the most frequent appearing woman of I Love Lucy. If I'm not mistaken, like, I can't think of anyone else who appeared on that show more. Like, more than Carolyn Appleby, more than Marion Strong, more than Barbara Pepper. Sweet Pea, why did it take a couple months before they aired some episodes of Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour? So that's great. So it takes a long time to make a show. A long time. That's why one a week is really hard. Because what they would have to do, what they did in season 1 to get that quick, they had to write 10 or 11 episodes. The first 10 or 11 were already written before the first one aired. And so what they would do, when they were written, they would have to practice the show basically for a week. And then the next day they would perform it. And then they would have a day off and then they would do it again for 39 weeks. That's almost a full year. Like, that is nuts. And so the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour was an hour. It's a lot to produce. And think about it. They had to go on location for the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour a lot. And that takes a long time. To make a movie that's just 2 hours long, okay, it can take months. It could take half a year. It could take a year sometimes, okay? So this is what, an hour? So this is about half a movie. So think about that. It could take a month. A month was a pretty good amount of time. The Stooges took about a month or 2 to make every short, and they were only 15 minutes long. So that gives you an idea. It does take time to make these things. Getting production going, camera in place, they make errors, they have to do it again. It just takes time. They need light, you know. So yeah, that was a long answer to a short question. You really like my blooper videos. Well, thank you very much. Exactly, Aniston. What you wrote is correct. She's definitely the most occurring. Yes, Gacy, thank you for backing me up on that. Because I was like, who am I missing? But I think I'm not missing any other actress that I can think of. Especially for the men as well. Bennett Green and Louis Nicoletti. I think Bennett Green would be more. He would appear more. Yes, Alec. I think you asked me, right? What was the time where she appeared? Okay, so she was in her 60s and 70s during the I Love Lucy show, right? Yeah, so I kind of got her age right. She had one role where she spoke. She spoke in the episode of the French Review. Yes, I have a plan to come down to Jamestown someday. Don't know when, but it is happening. You watch Puppy Bowl. That is funny. I didn't know what that is. Is that like a dog show? A dog show type thing? That's what it kind of sounds like. But that is funny. Oh, now we have Bill Frawley singing. Singing kind of a... It's Melancholy Baby, right? Yeah, Melancholy Baby. You can look that up if you want to hear it. Kind of a sad tune, and Desi's kind of sad. But I want you to remember that they were going through marital issues during this. Well, probably even before. But like this is getting to the point where they're nearing the end of the line, of the show. And so I'm sure that this kind of had to play into the real life. Like it went into their heads and they're like, oh geez. And yeah, it's really crazy to think about that, because the last episode, the mustache, they really broke down on set, like, because they all knew it was the last episode. She's the winner of the raffle prize. You're right. They call her name Miss Hazel Pierce. And I don't remember when she spoke. Did she say something? What'd she say? What'd she say, Casey? You remember? Like a rough idea. You don't have to give me the exact like dialogue, but roughly. Because I think Ethel announced her name. She came up. You don't really see her come up. Yeah, she's kind of on the side of the screen. Let's focus more on Dorothea Walbert, right? The ladies overseas aid lady. But yeah. Well, there's Desi. And see, I don't know if he's acting here. Because he's supposed to get emotional, his character, of what Fred sings. And it seems like he actually gets a little watery-eyed. That could be good acting, but I think the emotions kind of played into it as well. So, yes. Yes. I think Fred looks good. He's in a suit. He's in like striped suit. It looks very good. It looks just very clean. It looks very dapper. Oh, there's Louis Nicoletti. Lucy's talking to him. And he actually had a lot of lines. Like, he spoke a lot. Oh, she said, I won. Okay, that's what she said. I never paid too much attention to her saying that. That's awesome, Casey. I believe she calls that surprise. She says, I won. I watched the episode yesterday. So that's... Oh, okay. Got it. I haven't seen that episode. Which is that one? The European booking. Okay, I usually watch that episode, but I fall asleep before because I watch it's a long story. But yeah, I got you. You'd like to see an episode of Mrs. Trumbull. Well, she appears pretty frequently, and then as time goes on, she appears less and less, and she's mentioned mostly than anything. So Desi had, they both were millionaires. Like, okay, they were married, so of course they shared their money and quote unquote. But when they got divorced, they split their stuff, and I believe Desi sold most of his part to Lucy, and then Lucy, that's how she became the head of the studio, and she ran the thing, and then she got rid of it later. But honestly, I don't think they had issues with money. they didn't have issues with money. They weren't the richest people in America, but they were doing fairly well. They didn't have a problem. Yes, and so I'm going to make a video. Only you guys, I like to give you guys exclusive stuff, as well as people on Patreon. But, yeah, I'm going to make soon a video on Lucy, because people are asking me. They were like, well, how much does Lucy make? Because you didn't go to Lucy. Well, the video was called... How much do the actors / celebrities make? And I guess Lucy's an actor, but it was more focusing on the celebrities like John Wayne and Bill Holden and Orson Welles and those type of people instead of like the main 4 characters. That's why I didn't really mention them. And so, yeah, I'm going to make one on Lucy. So, yes. Yeah, so producing means that you have a say in the episode or a say in it, or sometimes it's honorific. It's an honorific title. And sometimes it's just because you plunk the money down. Sometimes it's because you use your production facility. There's a lot of reasons. And so forth. Lucy sold the studio for double what it was worth to Warner Brothers. Well, which one? Remember, they had 4 studios. And they sold, I think, each one a different area. Or to different, like, Culver was sold to Sony. And then Paramount got the other. And then... Now, I think Gower, Desilu Gower is Sunset Gower, but I don't know what Sunset, like, I don't know what company they are or who they represent. I don't know if Warner Brothers actually bought one of their things or not. Oh, there it is. Fernando Lamas taking a shower. Probably had some type of bathing suit on. Because they would never, no, they never do scenes in any show where they're, like, completely naked even though they're playing it. You know, they're always wearing something, whether it's really small shorts or a bikini for women. They strapless bikinis and stuff like that. In Dr. No, there was a scene where they were supposed to be naked, and the camera catches her, and you can see she's wearing like a nude type bathing suit. So she's wearing something, and it's kind of funny because we know it, but it's like when you see it, it's like, oh, I saw it. Lucy could be funny on Password. She said now. She will think it's a bald woman on its password and her 2 kids. I'm not sure what you mean by that. She was on the show Password. I know that. Well, D, he was active in a number of series. Wasn't he after divorce? Like Star Trek, Make Room for Danny. He was. He also did another one about my mother-in-law or mother-in-law or something like that. So yeah, he stayed active. He actually kept singing. And he would go on shows. He wrote a book. And it's one of these things where, I don't know how to explain it, kind of like presidents. Like you pass your prime, you stop doing what you're doing, and then you have all that money, and then you work off of your residual checks, and maybe you write a book and you make a little bit of cash to keep going, like, so you still have money coming in, but you're not really worried about money. It's like more like keeping busy than making money, if that makes sense. They kind of hit a plateau. I watched this YouTuber, Casey Neistat. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's on a skateboard a lot. He vlogs. He made a company that CNN bought for like $25 million. Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about money anymore. but he needs to keep busy. He's 40, I think, or 45. No, he's probably 40, 42 or something. Yeah, he doesn't need to go to work every day. He can, but it's one of those things where, I mean, what do you do now? Pretend you're 42 and it's like, okay, right now, Rick, I have 25 million in my bank. Am I just gonna like sit here now? Or am I gonna do something? And so, you know, you do something. People do something. And so same thing with Desi and so forth. They still try to produce. They still try to make some type of their time. They have to do something with their time. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, there you go. And there you go. He takes his bathrobe off, hops back into the shower, and is going to get interrupted. He was first interrupted by Desi, or Ricky. Goes back in, turns the water on, and he's like, ay, qué barbaridad, señores. He's like, oh my goodness, I'm going crazy with these people. That is funny. Hey Lola, you have a few episodes of Lucy on VHS that you still watch. Your granddaughter and you watch I Love Lucy before we go to sleep. Oh, that's so nice. That's so sweet. My grandmother did not know, she knew about Lucy, but it wasn't like her show. But that'd be cool to watch a show that both of you can like. That's really cool. I miss my grandmas. Yes, Arthur. I know exactly what you're talking about. I did hear about that. Oh, and there comes lovely Vivian Vance. Of course, playing Ethel and talking to Fernando Lamas about all the crazy things that they're trying to do with Lucy and Ricky because they got in a big fight. Even the premise of this show is like fantastic. I love it. Watch Lucy on YouTube on Pass or the two kids in 1964. She was funny. Oh, I gotta watch it. Okay, I got you. He looks so much like his son, Lorenzo. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And it's one of those things where I never made the connection because he has a really thick accent. And then, of course, his son Lorenzo, I mean, he speaks like an American. So it's kind of cool. Oh, Michael, awesome. Did you look that up for us? Lucy sold Desilu to Paramount, which is right next door to the the Desilu Gower lot. There we go. Awesome. And there we go. He's gonna climb back into the shower again. He's like, ay, que barbaridad, all this time. Even his butt, you can see his butt was a little bit wet. So the water is coming through the bathrobe. That's funny because he's actually getting wet. That's real water and stuff. He's turning on the water, trying to shower again, putting soap on his head. And again, someone's going to knock on the door, ring the bell. He's like, just a minute. He leaves the soap in his hair. No. He washes it off. Cleans the water off a little bit. Puts his robe back on. That must be so annoying. One of the things that I hate is if I'm in the shower and I have to come out, like when my shower's not done. Oh man, like you get cold, it's really annoying. And there's Fred coming in. Oh man. He can't catch a break. And then now Lucy's gonna come in. Again, I'm spoiling it, but yes. You know, well, yeah, it is what it is in the sense of, let's be honest here, let's be honest. A lot of actors, let's talk about good actors, Lucille Ball, and then we talk about Lamas, or we talk John Ritter, if you guys know John Ritter and so forth. I mean, they each have sons, they have daughters, and they're trying to get their kids in the show business. Look at Will Smith and his kids. He's trying to push his kids into the show. Yes, you have some of those genes, and you have some of that, yeah, I know the head of the studio and all this stuff, but I don't think, and it's funny because some of these actors, it seems like they want to replicate themselves. They want to carbon copy themselves into their kids, and most of these kids, they don't have the same. I use gravitas. I'm going to start using that word a lot more. Gravitas meaning gravity or weight. There's no presence or weight in some of these people. And I think that's, I don't know, do any of you know if that's like a word used when people review movies or videos or TV shows, gravitas? I don't know, because I think it should be talked about when certain movies or shows and some characters, maybe they're good actors, but they're not carrying weight. Oh, and he jumped in with his bathrobe. His bathrobe is completely soaked. And that's how he's going to say hi to Lucy, in a completely soaked bathrobe. Oh, man. Yes, Arthur, there were 4 studios. Desilu Gower, Renmar Studios, or Red Studios now. That was called, I think it was Desilu, people call it Desilu Renmar. There was Desilu Culver, and then Desilu, oh geez, I'm brain farting on the last one. I have to go over him again. Gower, Sunset, Renmar, Culver. There we go. Wait, I just named 2 of them twice. Ugh. Oh, but then they had the one, yeah, I missed one. She was a very good mother. That is the worst when you have to get up and you end up freezing. Gravitas, it's a great word. Thank you. I was like, gravity doesn't do it correct, because gravity refers to like the earth. But yeah, gravitas. I took Latin, so it comes with that. But I'm gonna start using that a lot more in my reviews. I might have to make a video like introducing it, because I was trying to explain. I was watching Star Wars, okay, the newest Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and I don't want to get into a review. That's why you gotta watch the video, so review's coming on that. But let me just say, there was a character for now. There we go. Gower, Sunset, Renmar, Culver. Okay, that looks right. Renmar, Culver. But isn't Sunset and Gower the same thing? Oh man, I'm getting a brain fart, guys and gals. I'm gonna have to look this up. Where's my thing? I have to look it up on my phone. But yeah, anyway, going back to what I was saying with Star Wars, and some of these actors, they're not bad actors, okay? They're not bad actors. They're good actors. They're not the greatest, but they're not bad. 8 out of 10 on their acting skills. However, their character, the writing, and that actor themselves, a mixture of those, did not create a great gravitas. There wasn't a great presence. Darth Vader has a presence. The whole persona. And so, yeah. Yeah, they don't have the same chops. Exactly, Arthur. But I want to use a word that sounds a little more educated. Not that chops doesn't, but I want to sound like I know what I'm talking about, which I don't. But yeah, let me see. Let me look this up. I'm going to see Desilu Studios. Okay. It should list them all. Okay, so Desilu Productions. Okay. Alright, so we're looking at them here. Okay, there's no. Well, it does list that, but that's not gonna help. Oh, look at Lucy getting it. So now she's ice skating. She's ice skating with Fernando Lamas. I think she fell on the ground. That was kind of hilarious. Okay, Cahuenga. There we go. Yes, Cahuenga Red Studios. RKO, which is Culver. And then we have... It doesn't show the other ones. Oh, CBS Television Distribution. Okay, but that was the company. Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to come back to that. I have to come back to that because I can't find it and I don't want to be on my phone the whole time trying to look for that. Okay. The ice skating scene's pretty good, and I did, there's a blooper on that. There's this woman that keeps appearing in different shots, and it's pretty hilarious. It's one of my blooper videos, and I think it's funny because that woman appears like, it shows Ricky, and then the woman's behind. Then it shows the other side, shows Fernando Lamas, they're arguing, and the woman should be behind it, but she's also behind Fernando. It's like she's like a magic woman. So that's what I mean. They would set up these shots That's why it takes so long. Every shot needs to be set up. Operetta songs are funny. A lot of people outside the ropes. Nice to see you. The first time I've seen you on the stream, I believe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is one of your favorite episodes? Awesome. Do you like the Lucy-Desi comedy hour? Isn't that funny, Holly? Did you see it on my video or did you just notice it on your own? Be honest now. Be honest. And there's Ricky saying, "What are you doing talking to my wife like that?" He said, "I don't know, Ricky." And he's like winking. And now it's one of those things where if you hear someone from Louisiana, let's say, and then you hear someone from Texas, you can tell that there's a difference in the accents, right? Or in the dialect, let's say, that when they speak English, kind of like I'm sure I sound different from being from California. I like all the time. Well, same thing here. Same thing here. Fernando Lamas, Argentinian, his English accent is very different from Ricky's Cuban one. It may sound similar to the untrained eye, but in the sense of I speak Spanish, and so I could pick up a little bit more on that. And they're similar but different, if that makes sense. So it's kind of cool. Oh, you saw it on mine. Yeah, awesome. Yes, but this guy's doing it for Academy Award, and then that's where Ricky swung, and then you finally have them rolling around on the ice, and the people encouraging them on. Oh yes, and they both got a cold, I think, from fighting on the the ice. The episode's slowly coming to a close, guys and gals. Maybe another less than 5 minutes. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. So I gotta get some food too. I'm gonna order in, see what I can get. The thing is, I could go out and eat, but then I have to make. I gotta work on my video for tomorrow. I'm still undecided what I'm going to do. Kind of have it in mind. I have footage. I just don't know which one I want to use, or I don't know if I want to make another video completely. I don't know. Then I also have to make and film the one for my European Motors channel. I do have another channel. It's called European Motors, all on cars. If you guys can go and take a look at that, I would really appreciate. Links should be in the description. Second channel. Are you a Super Bowl fan? Super Bowl? You mean like soup? Soup? Eventually, Alec. Eventually. It's one of those things where I have a weird method for my madness and how I post videos and what I post. And so, eventually. No rush. Yeah, that's why a lot of people must be not on here. They must be watching that bowl thing you guys are talking about, right? Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour episodes are funny, but I can tell that Lucy and Desi weren't getting along. The chemistry wasn't the same on the show. Absolutely right, outside the ropes. I think it's really apparent. I think in this one, I see it a lot. I also see it a lot. I don't really see it in the cabin episode. It's all right. Their chemistry is off, which is I'm with you. The Mexico episode as well. It's just messy. Lucy wants a career. They're kind of lovey-dovey at some points there. Milton Berle episode was fine. The Japan one was weird. The mustache one was horrible in the sense of like their chemistry. It was just like, oh my gosh, it was just painful to watch. I can't even really watch it, to be honest with you. It is 15:54 here in the Eastern Standard Time. Oh yeah, it is almost 1 o'clock here. And there you go. Lucy hits Fernando in the foot with her ice skates. Oh, Lucy. Oh, Lucy, she is always causing trouble. Ricky got a black eye. They both got sick with a cold. Alright, guys and gals, it is time to go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you by any chance appeared late in the video and missed a little bit of it, don't worry. It'll be on YouTube. And let's say you missed the first 20 minutes. You can go back and watch the first 20 minutes. Thanks so much for your support. As always, thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And thanks for 8,000. We hit 8,000 subscribers. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to have to make a thank you 8,000 thing video, or we might just keep going until we get to 10. We'll see you next time, guys and gals. And don't forget, no matter what, be hopeful.